Howdy! Welcome to Aspire Mountain Academy. I am Professor Curtis, your instructor for this course in Introductory Statistics. In less than 10 minutes, this video describes the mid-range of a data set and how to calculate it. Let's get started. In the previous mini lectures, we've examined the mean, the median, and the mode as measures of center. We've one more measure of center to discuss, and that is the mid-range. The mid-range is the value that's halfway in between the maximum and minimum values of the data set. So essentially what we're doing to calculate that is we're averaging. Note there is no need to sort the data set like we do to find the median. Here we're just taking the minimum and maximum values, adding them together, and then dividing by 2. That gives us the mid-range. Now this ease of calculation makes the mid-range an advantageous measure of center. However, there are also some disadvantages to using the mid-range. For one, the mid-range can often be confused with the median. The median is fairly widely used, but the mid-range, not so much. Note that the mid-range is a value in the center of the data set, much like the median. So, in reporting the not as often used mid-range, some people might think you're actually talking about the more commonly used median, since they're familiar with the median, but not the mid-range. In addition, the mid-range is like the mean in that it's sensitive to extremes. In fact, the mid-range is actually more sensitive than the mean because you're using only 2 values from your data set, whereas the mean uses every value in the data set. So if you have some extreme values in your data set, you often have plenty more non-extreme values to tame down the value of the mean. Well, the mid-range uses only 2 values, so you can imagine how this value could radically change if one or both of these values are outliers. This would then give a really different take on the characteristics of your data set. Because of its sensitivity, the mid-range is what we call a non-resistant measure of center. It's not resistant to the influence of extreme data values that are the minimum value, the maximum value, or both in a data set. Let's consider now some alternative means for calculating the mid-range. There's more than one way to skin this cat. Not that I would be skinning any cat because, and I apologize up front to any dog lovers out there, the cat is truly a noble creature. I mean, come on, the ancient Egyptians sensed their greatness and worshipped them like gods. Now, I don't think cats are gods, but neither are they that far removed. Okay, as we just learned, the mid-range is the value directly in between the minimum and maximum values of a data set. So, let's suppose we put those values on a number line like we see here. The mid-range is the value obtained by averaging the minimum and maximum values in the data set. So, that would place it here. Now, the range of the data set is just the difference between the maximum and minimum values of the data set. So, we could rewrite our equation like this, okay? And that puts our mid-range value at the halfway point in our range. So, we have half the distance of the range between the minimum value of our data set and the mid-range, as well as between the mid-range and the maximum value in our data set. They're both half the distance. So, we could alternatively calculate the mid-range by taking the minimum value and adding half the range to it, or we could subtract half the range from the maximum value. Any way you slice it, you get the same cut of cheese. Well, okay, not that cheese, but you know what I mean. Ooh, cheese. I love cheese. Now, okay, so you're going to get the same number coming out regardless of which of these 3 ways you choose to calculate it. So what I recommend is picking one of these ways that works best for you and then sticking to that one way. My personal favorite is adding half the range to the minimum value because that's the easiest for me to remember. But you should choose the way that's best for you and then stick with it. And that brings us to the end of this mini lecture because after seeing that cheese, I need to get some. I hope you found it helpful. You can find more mini lectures for this and other courses at AspireMountainAcademy.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.